Hello, and welcome to Turn the Page. My name is Monique Snyder, Communications Manager at Wicomico Public Libraries. Our first guest today is Ruth Malone. Ruth is with Wicomico County Public Schools. Welcome, Ruth.
Oh, Monique, thank you so much for letting me visit here today.
Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely.
So, for those who are unfamiliar, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, I've worked for Wicomico County Public Schools for a long time. I'm currently the Director of Curriculum and Professional Development, and that connects me with books and learning and reading all the time. I work with a number of content supervisors and teachers as we try to ensure that students have the best education possible in our public schools.
That's wonderful. And are there any initiatives or new programs coming up for Wicomico County Public Schools?
Well, as the school year winds to a close, and I'm sure that students are anxiously awaiting that last day of school and summer vacation, we have revamped our whole elementary summer school program. And it is an enrichment program, and we have it in a number of sites, and we are really looking forward to providing a very exciting, interactive, focused on science and technology, but certainly emphasizing math and reading too, exciting summer school opportunity. Now that's full, and so a number of our students are taking part in that, and we're really looking forward to that summer initiative. There are a number of other summer opportunities for students and families throughout the public school system, and they can certainly see those on our website or contact their individual schools to find out about them. So those are the programs for the summer, and we're looking forward to a great school year. It'll be fall before we know it.
Of course, and you're starting after Labor Day.
We are, as are all the schools in Maryland.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit extra summer this particular year.
I'm sure your students will enjoy that thoroughly.
I bet they will.
So we understand, or there's been research on the summer slide and summer learning loss, and that not reading or being educated over the summer for a lot of students can cause learning loss.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us just a little bit about that?
It is a real phenomenon, and it happens not only with reading, but also with math. Because just like if you practice a sport, if I don't practice, I get rusty. Learning is the same way. Reading, math skills are fundamental skills, but if we don't practice them, they get rusty over time. And so we see that summer loss. And it isn't just Wicomico County students, that's students across the nation, across the globe. It's a human kind of condition. So we think that, and we know that, practicing those skills, using those skills, enhancing those skills in a number of ways is really important over the summer, because you don't want to be playing catch up. Just like you don't want to not go to the gym and then go to the gym and work out too hard. That becomes very painful. Whereas if I practice over time, I don't have that loss.
The gym is an excellent example. I'm experiencing that myself. But if you don't work out those muscles, if you don't keep that engagement, then I'm sure it's very easy to fall a little behind during the summer.
And then you have to make up those skills, that time at the beginning of the school year. And that's really tough.
Yeah, because then you're not able to start on par. You're really just reviewing and just falling further and further behind.
It's really true.
So what advice would you give parents and students on how to prevent this?
Well, it's practice. It's using those skills, taking every opportunity that you have to engage in reading and math. It doesn't mean taking a textbook home. It doesn't mean buying a workbook. It means reading a recipe together. It means reading an article in the newspaper together. There are lots of activities at the public library that you can take part in. Reading those books, checking out a book. It's free. And going home and reading that book together. Taking an opportunity to read signs if you're going on a family vacation. Taking an opportunity to read a menu if you go out to eat. Writing notes to each other about what you did that day. Those are all ways that you can practice the skill. It doesn't have to look like school. It doesn't have to feel like reading instruction, but it's an opportunity for families to engage in family time together and an opportunity to practice those skills. It can be as easy as saying, tonight we're not going to watch TV, but we're going to read together for a little while.
And it's interesting that you say, it's very easy writing notes to each other or reading signs, or if you're in the grocery store, reading the labels and such. And I think that some people may think it may be taking a textbook home, or I need to download this app that costs $5.99.
That's not true.
It's simple things that you can do every day together as a family.
Sure. Read the cereal box when you're having breakfast. What do the nutrition labels tell us? What are the ingredients? What's the outside of the box look like? And then when you go to the grocery store, well, let's pick a different one and see what that says. It doesn't have to cost money, and it doesn't even have to take a lot of time or even planning. We have text, we have printed material in every home, in your grocery store shelves, in your on your refrigerator shelves, all around. And those can be the text that you use to practice reading skills over the summer.
And I'm sure some families will take that to heart this summer. I know with my new child, he's 3 months, so he doesn't quite understand language now, but he's learning.
But he's acquiring language now, and using words, using adult words around children is very important, because that development of vocabulary skill and talking to children as I'm talking to you now it's good practice, and it's very important for students to have that vocabulary and those reading skills as they come to school.
So start early.
Absolutely.
Read early, read often.
It's never too early.
So as far as summer camps, they can be very expensive and costly. What types of things would you suggest to parents that are low cost or even no cost?
Well, we've talked about a few, about the things that you have around your house or visiting the public library, which again, getting that library card is free. And there's a wealth of material there for parents, for students, regardless of their ages. But there is also, particularly for younger children, Ready at 5 produces a website called Ready Rosie, and this particular website is absolutely free. You can register now, and you have your registration through August 31st. And they will provide weekly activities that you can do so that you're not having to create them, but that they're there for you. They're, again, things that you'll have around the house, things that are easy to do that you can do together. And if you go to Ready Rosie and enter the zip code 19888, you can register for free. It's also available in Spanish. So if you want to do that in Spanish, or if Spanish is your native language, you can continue to do the reading skills in that language as well. And I know that you'll provide this website in maybe going at the bottom of the screen.
Yes, we'll make sure to get that on.
Or they can call the school system, and we'll be delighted to connect them up with this. But this is absolutely free, and again, it will provide a different activities each week of the summer. So that's a great place to go. But again, there are lots of activities around the Salisbury, Wicomico County area that are, again, free or low cost, that can connect parents and students, or students with reading skills.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ruth.
Absolutely. And congratulations on your new son, and I know that he'll be reading over the summer too.
He will. He has those nice little board books that he can chew on and read on.
There you go. Never too early.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Stay tuned. We'll be back in a few moments. Welcome back to Turn the Page. Our next guest is Hannah Miller. Hannah sits on the committee for the Ernie Bond Memorial Book Drive. Welcome, Hannah.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Of course. Thank you for coming. So, for those who may be unaware or may not know, can you tell us a little bit about who Ernie Bond was and what his contributions were to this community?
Correct. Ernie came from, I believe it's Ohio State, to Salisbury University to develop a children's literature program for teachers. He certainly was one of the people that recognized the importance of children's literature and good children's literature. And so he developed a number of programs to teach that to his students and also have advanced courses for educators for continuing education. And I met Ernie when I was working at Barnes & Noble, and he would come in and it was like a college education. I'd pick his brain and say, tell me about this book, tell me about that book. What's a good book to recommend for a teacher? And Ernie and I struck up an acquaintance that was really kind of special. And when he had passed away last summer, I was sitting at his memorial service and I thought, as a community, we need to thank this man because he literally wrote the book that every college campus uses to teach children and young adult literature. And so that developed into this ridiculous idea that I had that we had to do a book drive in his memory.
And what was the purpose of the book drive?
In Wicomico County, there is a crying need for children to be ready for, or reading readiness, as they call it, where they can go into kindergarten and know what a book is for, know how to open the pages, understand that there is something to be had out of this book, which is basically learning. And my feeling was that if this book drive was in some small way a start to bring the crisis of children's literacy that we have here in this county to the awareness of a lot of people, then it was my one small contribution that I could make. As it happened, I said something to Andrea Bursler, the director of the library, and she was already thinking about other things that we could do to focus on children's literacy. And so this whole thing kind of morphed into a 2-month focus on children's literacy.
And the results were huge. Can you tell us about those?
The results of the book drive were astonishing. You know, this sounds kind of trite, I would guess would be the best word, that you think that you can do one small thing, but when you have a community that steps in like our community did, I just am in awe of it, to be perfectly honest. We hoped, there was a committee of 4, and the committee hoped that perhaps we would have 2,000 or 3,000 books collected. The reach was 4. Now, we had a wonderful outline of a book drive that they had done in Washington County, thanks to Dave Hanlon. And so we didn't have to reinvent the wheel, we just stole from the best. Mm-hmm. And we knew where we had to go and tried to involve as many different partners in the community. Well, the outcome was that we collected 9,500 usable books to give out to over 20 different local groups, some of which were adult, but much of it was children's books as well. Some new, some used, but the community responded in such an astonishing way. It's just kind of humbling, really.
And this was part of an overall Salisbury Book Festival. Correct. So can we expect this next year?
Well, we like to think so. I think that, we learned a lot going through it the first time. I never knew that I could pick up so many heavy boxes. And thanks to Barnes & Noble for all their boxes. But just to give you an idea, we had many donor drop sites, everything from gyms to schools, WMDT. There were a lot of organizations that stepped up. So I would say that if you have an organization that would like to contribute, become a drop site, help us to pick up the books, because that was one area I think we needed help. The Board of Education stepped forward, and between the Board of Education and Wicomico Public Library, we had 29 people help on a sorting day, and we sorted over 9,000 books in 4.5 hours.
Wow.
It was astonishing, but the Friends of the Library came, like I said, the media specialists from the Board of Education. It was the most astonishing sight I had ever seen of getting all those books sorted, boxed, and ready to be picked up.
Well, Hannah, we look forward to this next year, and
well, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
hopefully.
And so anyone who's listening, we would love to have you participate in some way. If you have an organization that would like to help in some way, well, you know, call the library, I guess. You know, that perhaps they could be a clearinghouse for people that want to contribute. But we would love to have money. We would love to have anything, especially time and effort. But that's what we would like.
thank you so much for
You're
being
very
here,
welcome.
Hannah.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. We'll be back in a few moments. Welcome back to Turn the Page. Our final guest is Barb Graham. Barb is our Youth Services Manager at Wicomico Public Libraries. Welcome, Barb.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So summer reading is here. And could you tell us a little bit about this year's theme and what's happening?
This year's theme is Build a Better World. We're going to build our brains, we're going to explore our world, and we're going to build a better world. So all the activities we're doing are built around these themes, STEM activities, and just having fun with creativity.
So how long does the program last this year?
The program, actually sign-ups have begun, so you can sign up anytime now. The program kicks off June 28th at the Downtown Library, and it will run through August 9th. So you can start playing anytime now.
Yeah. So I know that registration is a little different this year. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. Everything is online now. So you can register online on a smartphone, on a device, on a computer. If you go to the Wicomico Library homepage, the first thing that pops up right in front of you is something called Beanstack. It says Summer Reading. You click on that. You can register yourself, register your family. If you don't have access to a computer, we've got plenty of computers and lots of help at the library to help you do it. And if you are used to doing your game boards on paper, we've also got that this year, so you can track it on paper. When you come in to get your prizes, we'll put everything online for you.
Summer reading is for kids, adults, and teens, so
Everybody.
everyone can participate in summer reading. Even the babies.
Yes, even the babies.
Because reading starts early. You read
Reading
from birth.
starts when you're born. You should be reading to your child the minute they are born, because the brain connections are made in the first 3 years of life, the critical brain connections, and that research has shown that's actually when children are making those connections to learn how to read. So we want everybody to participate in summer reading.
And Beanstack, that's a reader's advisory program that we're using for summer reading signups. What else can you do on Beanstack? It's not just summer reading stuff, it's...
You can click on a box that will offer you reading recommendations for your interests and your likes. Our entire game board is on Beanstack this year, so you can actually log your progress as you go, and when you finish each learning track, a badge will light up and it will tell you to come into the library and get your prize. So you can get recommendations, you can play along with summer reading, and then we keep Beanstack going all year just for recommendations and what else can I read now.
What fun activities do we have planned for this year?
Plenty. Along with our theme of building a better world and building our brains, we have lots to do in the library because a lot of kids can't get off the shore to do things, so we bring performers to the shore. We kick off with a kiddie rock concert with Uncle Pete. Yes, a rock concert in the library while we're open. That starts on June 28th. And then we have other performers coming. We have Carlos the juggler. He brings all his juggling paraphernalia. He juggles for an hour, and then he lets the kids juggle for the afternoon and try all of his stuff.
So it's really hands-on.
Very hands-on. Yeah. We also have reptile wonders coming this year, so big snakes and lizards from what I understand. We have a local author who has a Chincoteague pony. She'll be bringing the pony outside, not inside. We have a magician, Tom Lilly, who's really great and really fun and encourages kids then to try magic. And we'll finish with the Shorebirds on August 9th for our finale. We always get a player or two and Sherman. That's not all we have. Those are some of the highlights. We will have calendars at our children's desk, or you can check out our calendar online and find out all the stuff going on.
And we'll make sure to get that link up, and it's on our social media pages, so we'll be posting constantly on everything that we have fun going on at all three of our branches.
Great. Perfect.
Prizes. I know there are summer reading prizes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. As you progress and finish your game board, you will get an entry into the drawing for prizes. You can also log the number of pages you read to get more entries for prizes. Our grand prize for the pre-readers and readers is a $250 college savings plan. The seed money for that account, compliments of the Maryland 529. And then each age group will be able to enter in to win a Kindle. We have a couple of bags of fun that some children will, a child or two will win. Of course, the biggest prize is just reading in itself and enjoying all the books and information you can find. But each child that plays on the game board will win 2 small prizes, and then everyone that finishes their game board will win a book to keep for their very own.
That's great.
Yeah, fun stuff.
That is fun, and of course we're helping out with the summer slide and the summer learning loss, and that we're encouraging kids to read throughout so that when they get to the next school year in September, hopefully if they retained some of that knowledge.
Exactly, exactly. That's really why libraries do summer reading, is really to prevent summer slide. For the librarians, it's just tons of fun. But we're really working with the kids and the parents to keep those brains active and creative and involved so that when they start school next year, they'll be right where they left off.
And when is the grand prize drawing?
The grand prize drawing will be on August 9th. So you have to have your game board completed by August 8th, and then our Beanstack program will automatically choose our winners for us.
That's wonderful. So reading is really fundamental to success and learning, what suggestions would you give parents on how to read or interact and stay on course for the summer?
For the littlest ones, I always tell the parents to read a story every day. You will create a love of reading with your baby and your toddler. Then they will be bringing books to you to read. That's the goal, is just to make books fun and make it something that they really, really love to do. For the older kids, bring them to the library. Let them choose their own books. Summer is a time when you don't have to worry about schoolwork and assignments. You can actually pick things out that are fun, that you want to read. I tell parents, don't worry if they want to read a graphic novel, which looks to them like a comic book, because they're reading and they're enjoying reading. Let them build a tent and read inside the tent. That's kind of our building and creativity. Let them go outside and read under a tree and be in nature and read. Or my favorite, give them a flashlight and let them read at night under the covers. I remember how fun that was. Just let them have fun with reading and encourage them to try a variety of different books.
Make it an enjoyable experience. Thank you so much for being here.
You are welcome.
Thanks. And thank you for joining us. If you have questions on anything you've seen or heard today, please visit our website at wicomicolibrary.org or visit any one of our 3 library branches.